Good morning, class. Welcome to week 4, Community Resource Management. Today's video, I'm going to be talking a little bit about Social Security. Then I'm going to get into some housekeeping issues, talking about the quiz, the family project, and the forums. So first off, I just want to give you some thoughts of mine on Social Security in general. I won't spend any time talking about the nuts and bolts. That's all outlined very well in the online book for this week for the lesson. But just some of my experiences when it comes to Social Security. So I know it says in the text that people with psychiatric illnesses are less likely to be approved for Social Security benefits. I think it was the first time around, but it may be overall. And I can confirm that. So I've worked with a lot of people over the years in applying for Social Security benefits, as well as helping them get through the appeals process. And in my experience, I don't think I'd ever seen somebody approved the first time they apply. It's pretty amazing, isn't it? And usually the appeals process is sort of the norm. And I know I got a great deal of assistance related to a service we talked a little bit about last week. Specifically, my experience was with the Union County version of the the Community Law Project. And they assist people with, I think, all kinds of disabilities with specific legal issues. And I know a large chunk of their services, probably I would guess, are related to helping individuals navigate the Social Security system, filing appeals, sort of advocating for the person to get the benefits that they deserve. So denials, unfortunately, are a big part of the process, as is the appeal process, and oftentimes they will get denied several times before they eventually get approved. The Law Project is a great resource. I know that you guys are directed to another service this week, NJ Wins, which is also gives a lot of help to people navigating the various systems within Social Security. So that's just a couple of thoughts on the appeals and denials. Overall, though, I wanted to just raise this question. I don't know if I impressed upon people enough that it's really shouldn't be a foregone conclusion that just because somebody ends up in your program means that they automatically qualify, deserve, or should get Social Security. I understand that poverty is a big issue when it comes to people of all disabilities, and to a certain extent, specifically largely to the extent that it affects the mental health population greatly. And I had a counselor when I was working in partial care that spent a lot of time talking with the person that she, case managed about the decision to apply for benefits. The idea that you really want to make sure that you feel you need those, not because of some nobility like you're cheating the system or something. That really wasn't this person's concern, and it isn't mine either. But just that person really know what it means to now receive services, and they have a label, Social Security recipient. That's a new role for them if they've never applied or had them before. People that end up on Social Security for these type of reasons, for mental illness, very, very, very rarely end up off of it. And it's sort of a double-edged sword in that, yes, it does give them, in a sense, the subsistence to get by, and even more, especially for SSI, it gives them the Medicaid insurance that they need. And I would never purposely say you shouldn't go for it because those reasons. Those are very important reasons. I just, I guess it's for the people that I would see that were younger, that, this was a big decision in their lives in terms of which road to take. The road to really working themselves back to full-time work if they were there before, or going back to school full-time or even part-time, or electing to go and apply and really put all their efforts towards proving to the state that they are disabled. And I'm not saying you can't have one without the other, but in a sense, should you, if you are declared disabled by the state, their belief is, in a sense, that, the chances that you are getting better is pretty slim. I know that's not what the feeling we share here in the psych rehab field. But I definitely was not an automatic, you should apply, everyone should apply who comes into my program for those very reasons. Think about the role now that that person is assuming in addition to the one of mental health recipient, mental health service recipient, Social Security recipient, or the alternative, the person that does elect to put all of their efforts to returning to school or work and carving out a life and a career that way. So it's just some food for thought that I did not really articulate in the online book this week, but wanted to bring to your attention. All right, let's talk a little bit about the quiz. So we had our first quiz last week. Overall, the scores were good. There was one question in particular I just wanted to touch on because more than half people got this one wrong. I'm a little surprised. I didn't think it was that difficult. So let's just go through it. So there's a question about, it was question 4. Joe is receiving services from a supported employment program for the past 3 weeks. His case manager comes to meet Joe and his job coach. What is this? What is the case manager doing? Option A, linking. B, monitoring. C, advocating. D, evaluating. So it's not A because he's already been linked to supported employment. It says he's been there for 3 weeks. So if he had yet to enroll in the program and this was sort of an initial meeting, that might be the option, but it's not in this case because he's been with the program for 3 weeks. It doesn't seem like there's any kind of problem, so I don't see advocacy as the service that's being provided here. There's really nothing to speak of in terms of, we don't have enough information to know if this person has a problem that would need advocacy. So it's not linking, it's not advocacy. I suspect, I didn't look to see what most people picked in if it was not the correct answer. The answer is B, monitoring. It's not D, evaluating, because we don't have any information to assume that the person is being evaluated for anything. It just says they're going to meet with the person and their job coach. So it sounds like they're just going to stop in, talk about how things are going, and that's sort of a monitoring type of activity. So if anyone has any questions about that question, send me an email. But I just wanted to break that one down for people in case they did struggle a little bit with the differences between those 4 terms: linking, monitoring, advocating, and evaluating. And really this idea that evaluating, you're going there for a specific purpose to evaluate something, whether it be there is readiness or, skill level or, whatever. Whereas monitoring is a little more informal. It's more just to check in, see how things are going, get a report on the person's progress or the lack of progress, usually for the ability to write up some kind of progress note. So that is the quiz. Our next one will be in another week or 2. Also, this week you were broken out into groups for 2 specific things. One is the family project. Family project it's called the team-based family project. And so for each group, there's 4 groups in the class. Each group has a description of a family posted at the top of the main Moodle page in a folder there, along with the description of the assignment. And your job will be to sort of read the story of the family and come up with a plan for that person's rehabilitation. And if you have questions, refer back to the assignment in more detail or send me an email. You'll also be using these groups this week to answer the forum question about Social Security. So each group was assigned a different specific feature of Social Security to spend a little bit more time elaborating on. So I'm hoping that the groups can get together over the next couple of days, put together a formal post. It doesn't have to be a project. This is kind of collaborating on one post that has elements, hopefully of all of you that are in the group. It kind of summarizes the specific service within Social Security that I had assigned you guys. And then, since there really will only be 4 submissions, I'm only asking for you guys individually to comment on one time on other people's work this week. Normally, we do ask people to make 2 comments 2 response posts in addition to the original post. This week you'll have your original post, which will be kind of formulated as a group. Don't sleep on your group members, guys. Come on. And if the group is waiting on one person and doesn't want to wait by the time it's time to submit the post, that original submission should be done by Thursday. Go ahead and submit it. Do what you need to do, and hopefully the person will come in and add something. So yeah, only one response post to one of the other 3 groups that you will be sort of checking in on. Any questions this week? Let me know. Otherwise, look forward to seeing what you guys do. Take care.